Get ready.
What's happening, Stephen? Hello, Destiny. All right, there we
Yeah,
go.
There
okay.
she
We're
go.
ready. Yeah.
Hello, hello.
All right, we're recording.
I'm ready. I was waiting for.
No.
Okay. Good morning. Welcome to the community briefing. Today is the 29th of January. Is that right? Man,
Correct.
doesn't it seem like New Year's was just like a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks
That's
ago? Here we are at the end of January, and February, the shortest month, and the Black History Month is right around the corner. So we're glad you're here. Welcome. My name is Gregory Sneed, founder and CEO of Lifesaver Financial Services, and we have a great show today. Our guest is Pamela Bright Moon, and she's going to be sharing with us some wonderful information about the projects that she is working on, the awards, the accolades, the future, the past, and any and everything that she wants to talk about. So, well, maybe not anything, but we want to keep it focused on what's happening. So, sit back, relax. We've got a great program for you today, and now it's my pleasure to welcome to the virtual stage the Queen, doing this for the last time in the month of January, Miss Crystal Mitchell.
Hello,
oh,
everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have a phenomenal guest. We usually have, everyone that's been coming to the community briefing has just been awesome. But this young lady is just, she is doing her thing, which is more important. I mean, telling our story and getting our media out there is vitally important to helping everyone understand who we are and how great we are and what phenomenal people we have in our communities in our race. So my hats are off to her. And what's that word you use, Robin? A treat?
correspondent,
No, a treat. What is the word you use when
entreat.
in treat? So I am Crystal Mitchell. I am the co-director of Recycling Black Dollars. I am also the founder or the inspiration actually behind the community briefing. As Robin said earlier, collaboration is my thing. I like to do things with people that look like me and support my people and uplift my people, and I'm very passionate about them. So that was the inspiration behind this, is to bring us all together as a community to make sure we're sharing vital information that is needed by our community to so that they'll have information. Power comes from knowledge is where I stand, and so that is the purpose. And we started in 2020, and we're here, and we're on going into our seventh year now. In March will be our seventh year. And so being here on air. And so we want to thank all of our regulars for being here. This platform is powered and supported by Recycling Black Dollars and the BDA. And we're monetarily sponsored by Los Angeles LDC, Urban Excellence, Southern California Edison, Wells Fargo Bank, PCR, and SoCal Gas, and anyone else that wants to support bringing the information and knowledge to our community and to everyone is more than welcome to go over to our website to do so. Also, go over to our YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button. I'm planning on, the goal is to monetize this platform. So I need you guys to go ahead and do that. We also now have a Facebook page, so go over there and subscribe to that. You may have already gotten an invitation because I sent out a bunch of everything. We're coming into February, my most favorite month of the year, because I become blacker and blacker and black during that time, and I am unapologetic about it, really, at that time. I'm unapologetic always.
It's true.
Right. And so with that, we have a fantastic team. You've already met Greg, Mr. Stephen Turner, who actually goes out and brings the people to us. He's the producer. And Ms. Robin Billups, she's the other female energy. Um, and so we want to thank you guys for joining us and for being part of our family and helping us grow this channel. So with that, I am going to turn it over to Ms. Robin, and she will introduce herself.
Greetings, everybody. Glad to be here. Robin Billups with the Billups Group. Again, my mission is to get us activated in the voting perspective and to be engaged. And, again, the reason why we do the community briefing is to get folks engaged with what's going on in our local market. We can look at a national level, we can look at it on a regional level, but it starts in your own backyard. Crystal's going to be dropping in some information that she sent out on an e-blast earlier this week about how to contact your politicos. We have to start bombarding them with information about what we don't like and what we do like. And once we do that, one of the things Rachel Maddow said a couple of weeks ago is once we hit 3%, just 3% of the population being out there protesting, that's the number that turns things around for these politicos. We're so past 3% of the folks. You look at these people in Minnesota when it's below, 20, 10, 15, 20 below zero, they are out there protesting. Across America, it's happening. Matter of fact, it's across the globe. So again, I implore the community briefing family to get engaged, do something every day. Even if you even if you just put something up together and then every day you rehit that and rehit send and send that back out. It's critically important that these people that we've elected, that our tax dollars are paying, that we started holding them accountable. Okay, I'm gonna get off my soapbox. I'm gonna kick it over to Greg so we can get to happy information that our sister Pamela is gonna bring it to us. Greg, it's on you.
All right. Thank you so much. And now we are live streamed. Okay. So welcome to today's community briefing. And our guest today is Pamela Bright Moon, not a dull moon. It's a bright moon. So shining bright. She is producer, director of Respect My Crown, the rise of African American women in California politics. She's also the founder and executive director of Moon Global Foundation, managing partner of Moon Global Studios, and she's also commissioner with the Los Angeles County Arts Commission. She, all this time, I don't know where's she from? Are you born and raised here in Los Angeles?
Born and raised in LA.
Born and raised, okay. So that's cool. Went to high school where?
At Dorsey High School.
Dorsey High, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah, I heard Leo Kabline was a classmate as well. He told me yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Went
Good
to
guy.
elementary school, West Adams, all the way.
All right. She got her Bachelor of Arts from California State University, Los Angeles, and also her Master of Arts from Azusa Pacific University. She has done a number of things. She's worked with CBS Television, the CBS TV network. She's president of her company With Grace Productions and also Moon Global Studios. So without further delay, you can read her bio online, but she's going to share with us some wonderful things. We want to hear about what she's doing. This wonderful documentary that I haven't seen yet, so I'm going to get a chance to hopefully see it soon at a screening. So please join me in welcoming to the virtual stage Miss Pamela Bright Moon.
Woo-hoo. Well, thank you so much for inviting me to be here to share my story. I appreciate Mr. Turner reaching out. We were going back and forth with emails, like, what are we going to talk about? But as Greg just read in my bio, we need about 4 hours. So anyway, I don't know where you want to start. What do you want to talk about?
Your
Let's
documentary.
lead in. Let's lead into the documentary, how it came about, what some of the challenges were. We're going to show your trailer, so just kind of give us an intro, and then after we show the trailer, which is about 2 minutes plus thereabouts. 2 minutes and 50 seconds. So we will then rejoin and then look for some commentary. So tell us about the documentary, and then we'll go about that, and then afterwards we'll go through your journey. Your journey through how you started and all that. Is that fair?
That's fair. That's more than fair. Okay, so Respect My Crown, the rise of African American women in California politics is a journey. It's a journey of Black women from the the state who have contributed to leadership roles in politics and the judicial system as community mothers, and just doing what they do. It's hard to explain at the top, just because we cover so many women. We cover 34 dynamic women in the state who have had leadership roles from the Biddy Masons all the way to the Kamala Harrises and beyond. So, how the story came about, we were approached by the Mervyn Dimely Institute. Dr. Samad, who I've done work with before, approached me about archiving stories of the elders. I'll say at the time we had Diane Watson, who was, rumored to be very ill, and we didn't know what and how long, she would be with us in a capacity where she could tell her story. And then we have Yvonne Burke, was the initial entry point into our leadership in state politics. She was the first Black woman who was elected to the state assembly back in 1967. And so we wanted to cover those stories, and specifically, we wanted to have that for archival purposes within the Dimely Institute's archival library at Cal State Dominguez Hills. Through that, we started looking at community mothers. We started looking at women who were just, integral in our story that you may hear about, but you didn't know their stories collectively and in a platform where we could show it all, the good, the bad, the ugly, and what they were able to achieve. Um, so knowing that the Diamond Institute was funded statewide, in addition to our local leaders, our local women leaders who were, I'll say first generation, we decided to take that statewide, and look at the women who were, integral in politics in the Bay Area, in San Diego, in the Inland Empire, and through the research and through the Rolodex of the California Black Women's Collective and Empowerment Institute, Kelly Todd Griffin, we were able to expand our story and grab the 34 women that we did, who, there are more, the now generation and moving forward, women that are coming up and embracing their leadership skills is unbelievable. And so there probably will be a Respect My Crown too. I'll say that. So if you want to show a trailer, maybe now is a good time.
Okay.
All right, let's get that going. Talk for about 15 seconds. Give
Okay. Yeah, so through our research, we were able to locate members that were, local mayors in the Inland Empire, in San Diego, in San Diego County, up in the Bay Area, and the outskirts of Oakland, and so, we wanted to do a comprehensive showing of women and what they were doing. So,
all right, you guys should see it on screen, and with some prayers, we're going to be able to hear it too.
I, Kamala J.V. Harris, do solemnly swear. You might need to turn it up on your side.
First of anything, you are struggling to figure out how you have to navigate the racial environment to get things done.
This is a white patriarchal society created by white men for white men. And I couldn't think of any demographic more oppressed than women, and particularly women of color.
We have Black women in California who have been stalwarts. They didn't get up in the morning saying, I want to be a politician. They got up in the morning saying, I want to make a difference for my community.
When I think about the Watts Rebellion, I think about the struggles are real to this day.
When crack cocaine hit, it was the first time that a drug epidemic impacted women equal to men. That hadn't happened before. I became deeply worried that crack cocaine was going to destroy the African American population.
After I had won the primary, I get to the party and there is a stripper. One of the legislators has her lean over my shoulder and he says, if you ever say anything that you see here, guess what we'll do with these pictures?
Are you guys hearing it? Because I keep saying I got some about volume.
It's very low.
Volume's all the way up.
Okay, we'll just have to carry on.
Might have to turn it up from the video itself off of YouTube.
It is. It's all the way up.
Oh, okay.
It is.
All righty. We'll drop the link in and people can go back and listen to it when they...
Are you not hearing it at all? It's just too low?
No, we're hearing it. It's just low. You have to listen keenly. Oh, Crystal says she can hear it well. Not me, but Crystal Crawford.
All right. Let's restart.
Yeah, go ahead.
You will not be able to hold your head up. The stories we'll make up about you.
With California being the first state to pass the Crown Act, I was going to challenge this notion around what professionalism looks like.
I will make sure that the people of California are not dictated to from the boardrooms of big oil.
Welcome to the California State Senate.
I was the first Black woman in the Senate here in California.
I did become the first Black woman to sit in this space since the office was founded.
I was also the first Black woman to be elected president pro tempore.
We went to stand with my sister Kim Gardner. It pained me to hear a very, very disturbing message that said, if we knew that you would be so much trouble, we would have picked our own cotton.
We are all committed to this change, and it starts right here.
A Black woman with a Harvard degree is still a Black woman.
And it's always a struggle to remind folks that you have your own voice, you are your own person.
Every decision I made was not in my interest, but in the best interest of justice. The battle for social and economic justice never ends.
I can't tell you how many times where I recognize I'm there is the result of the women who came before me.
I may be the first, but I'm committed to not being the last.
Pamela Harris is on this list.
It wasn't long enough.
You got to go see the screening.
Yes. Yes. So as you see, we tried to cover as many topics and in many diverse occupations as possible. So you'll see, Sharice Brumon Weaver from the Brotherhood Crusade, speaking about the crack epidemic because, in the Watts riots, because that's the basis and the foundation of the Brotherhood Crusade. And then you see the mayor, Karen Bass, who is talking again about the crack epidemic and how it empowered her to start Community Coalition so that she could, kind of get ahead and take care of her community. You see Dr. Shirley Weber, our Secretary of State, who says she doesn't want to be she won't be the last that's elected. So I'm hearing feedback, Greg.
Oh.
So am I. I'm trying to figure out where it's coming from.
Okay, well, we'll persevere. So anyway, the film is It's a love letter. I look at it as a love letter to our Black women leaders. Um, we've had a lot of support for the film. We're still on the film festival circuit. That was it. Thank you. We have, several screenings coming up here between Black History Month and Women's History Month. So, we're still out here with the film, and it's exciting. Um, we're happy to be here and share it with you. So, I'm trying to overcome my stage fright here. I've always been a behind the scenes person, so you're talking about what it is that I do and things is just kind of
Well, Greg, you can now ask questions. Be in a conversational mode.
yes.
Share with us about those who were with the journey for you on the film. The team, the other producers. I know you did that. Our mutual friend Elisa, Joy. So tell us a little bit more about how it all came together. Some of the fun things or funny things about the production, some challenges, and where you see it going.
So I had an amazing crew. As you mentioned, my producer, Lisa Bass Covington, who has been, my ride or die for many years. We met initially at CBS and produced another project, Kids and Biz, early 2000s, Kids Interstitial financial show that was picked up by PBS. We have my editor, George Artepe, who has amazing resume of work that he's done. He's done work with the Paul Hudson documentary. We go way back to my producing um, segments for galas and content. My camera, I had several cameramen. It just depended on where we were going and what city we were located in.
Did you have camera women?
I didn't have camera women. I will step up in that role because I did shoot some things, so I did that. Had a great assistant editor who was with us, even to this day doing, side projects for us. So it was a short crew. It was a funny story. We have a fiscal sponsor that we use to collect donations and things for the film. And we went to this gathering that they had. Creative Visions is their name, and they've done some big films like Inconvenient Truth and a plethora of documentaries. And so we go to this gathering, and as many of you know and have been in the rooms where there's only a handful of people that look like us. And we're sitting there and we're talking to another woman who's working on a documentary, and she was working on a Ken Burns film at the time, and she was asking us, well, who did your research? And so we said, well, primarily we did. And she was part of a team of 100 researchers. So that's where you really look at, the difference in budgets and the difference in having major studio support and distribution, and I'm not knocking Ken Burns because he's putting work out there, but when you're a small team and you're passionate and you have a story and you got to get it out, you do what you have to do, right? So So the film, we have our one of our primary writers was Jocelyn Stewart. Jocelyn has written a few short films, but I knew that we needed that female point of view and perspective. There, was a time when one of the other producers thought that they would be able to write a male from a male perspective, and this was like, no, this is a female story about female leaderships, and we didn't necessarily want that perspective within the story, um, because it could have been, I don't want to say detrimental, but it could have taken us in another direction. We wanted to see the women's and their leadership from where they were, and not from, it was a male dominated political society that these women were staffers and things like that. Yes, everyone had to come from some place, but our story was about how they, wherever they were leaders.
Persevere.
Right, right. So that's primarily um, where we are with the film. Still on the film festival circuit. We are trying to, you're not trying, we are working on curriculum as we speak to get it into LA Unified and schools throughout the state. Um, from the perspective of um, just having our stories out there before they're erased, before the women, before the all of the good that has happened thus far is no longer mentioned, or we get to a place where it's not in our consciousness anymore. So we have to continue, like Crystal said, to keep telling our stories, to be able to have a historic perspective of where we have come from, and we are still thriving. We are still able to, compete and to work and to support our families, our businesses, our communities, even with, things coming at us that are not within, what we would have perceived to be a challenge. So, but let me get back to, because since I mentioned challenge, and Greg, you mentioned challenges. So when we first started shooting this was back in like 2019. Um, we had COVID that, hit us, where we
A
had,
slight interruption.
yes, 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 yes. So, we had, the rescheduling of interviewees, and during that period as well, I lost my mother. Elisa lost her mother. We were, still dedicated and focused on getting through that. We also, our co-producer Joy Atkinson, who, I'm going to say that I don't know how far we would have gotten without her. Joy Atkinson was the executive director of LawPi up until her passing recently. But prior to that, she was chief of staff for Gwen Moore. She served on
My
many
girl.
community organizations, and she is just a pillar for our women in the political arena locally here. And she introduced us not only to Kelly Todd Griffin, who opened up her Rolodex, but also she had the mayor, sit down with us for an interview. She had Celestine Palmer from LawPi. So we were able to, by using Joy's name, open doors that we probably would not have been able to open. And we miss her. We miss her guidance. And we're looking forward to celebrating her, when we have her home going. So anyway, we're very blessed and fortunate to have had all of the women A-type personalities that were interviewed, our cast members that accepted and liked the film. We represented them well, I think. I didn't get any negative vibes. Negative, um, one negative comment or anything about how they were represented. There were no, they all, at least to my knowledge, I haven't heard differently, and we've released it in 2024. But it's been something that they have been proud of, I'll say. So we're very happy to have had, support from Supervisor Holly Mitchell, who came on board and has supported us numerous times with screenings and funding, and she's just a blessing. So I would say the overall community, the Heather Hutts, our council members, are, have really supported the film, and you couldn't ask for more.
Yeah. Was it or will it be part of PAF, the Pan African Film Festival?
Yes, 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 yes. We were selected. We won the Audience Award for Best Documentary in 2024. We're very excited. That came out of the blue because the number of films that are selected and that are screened, and so we were very happy about that. We won the Seattle Black Film Festival Best Film. So we've been winning awards, and the fact that it's still out there and that people still want to screen it is a testament to the work of the women, that are still, through whatever capacity they're in, are doing. And so we're thrilled about that.
So the women that are focused really are in California. How does that restrict? How do I say this? Not
No, but I know what I think I know.
Outside of the country. In other words, I mean outside of the California. In other words, Texas
No.
or no.
No, you know why? And I can tell you why. Because we have been to New Jersey twice with this film, and asked from their leaders. One of the she was a city councilwoman. We were in a film festival, and that's the beauty of film festivals. We were in a film festival in New Jersey, and one of the elected officials there saw it and brought us back out and showed it to her constituents. Same with Chicago. We were in a film festival in Chicago, and not only the local community, but the elected women came out. So it resonates, the story resonates because um, it's not just about leadership in LA or leadership in California. It's about leading where you are. And we include the challenges of being mothers, of being wives, being, daughters and family members, and having to, as women, we know those responsibilities. But now you have these millions of people that you also are responsible for and fighting for and speaking for. How does that affect your family, and how does the community help you to keep your family intact while you're away in Sacramento or City Hall or weekends at every event that you have to attend? So it's really we tried to add as many elements as we could, and issues that we could that encapsulate what being a woman in leadership is.
A couple more questions, and then Rob will turn over to you. The is it available to organizations, sororities to kind of use as a fundraiser or something like that? How is that
Well,
held?
not so much as a fundraiser, because we are still, seeking distribution, and we don't want
Okay.
We don't have that. We don't, we just
Get it
want,
out there like that. Yeah.
right. But we do, but we are open, of course, to sharing, and we have, and two of these screenings that are upcoming are with either sororities or with community organizations that are already having events, and the film supports what their event is.
Got it.
Pamela, with the changing of the guard, having worked at a CBS and these larger shops, with the changing of the guard in the media industry,
Mhm.
one of the things that intrigues me is that we just got to do as we normally do. We got to make it happen ourselves, right?
Right.
And to your point, I just want to entreat you because I've seen I attended the screening, and it was a standing ovation because
Mm,
we 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 see ourselves in the story that you're telling.
right.
We see ourselves in the story that you're telling. And to your point about having more females involved than males involved, but again, having Black males involved, everybody, all of us have that lived experience because we all got a Black mama, you know?
Right.
So,
Right.
so, so talk to us a little bit about how you ended up in this industry. Where do you see the changes that are happening? Because to me, everything is topsy-turvy now. So your lived experience and your professional experience, how do you take that and move into what I call next generation activity? So talk to us about how you got involved, and then what do you see as the next steps for next generation activity?
So, how I got involved, as most do when you're starting out in college, you want to know, what is it that you like so that you can major in? What do you see as beneficial? I knew that LA, the film industry, TV industry was, impactful here, and which is at the time was one of our main industries.
Mhm.
Um, I like TV. I like going to the movies, and I liked, learning more about that. So I studied TV and film in Cal State LA, and was very fortunate to have been hired on at CBS by a Black woman in HR at the time, Eunice Sneed.
Mm. I
Uh,
know her.
you
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
Yeah, Eunice Woodruff at the time,
Yeah.
Eunice Need. Anyway, she hired me in the mailroom at
Mm.
CBS, and that was, I tell the story all the time, the best job that I ever had. Because coming out of college, you don't know what you want to do. You don't know, but I knew what industry I wanted to be in. But now I have opportunity to learn and see what everyone in the building is doing because I'm
Mhm.
dropping off mail. I saw the execs on the third floor, and I saw people who look like me on the bottom floor, on the basement. They were the camera guys. They were the, lighting directors. They were, the videotape operators. And I said, okay, if this is where we're making it happen, then I think I'm going to take that route. And so I decided to go the production, the engineering path because I knew from the mailroom I was in production scheduling, and so one of the departments in scheduling was payroll. So I knew what the salaries were. I knew, what these guys were making, and I knew that they were having a good time and having fun, and they were buying boats and sending kids to college on these salaries. And so I said, you know what, I think I could do that as well. And so did the out of town get your experience routine. Decided to go into videotape and went to Las Vegas and worked at Channel 8, which was a CBS affiliate. So now I could see how the network feeds and news and the different shows how they were coming into that local market, and how we as the station, affiliate station, was able to play that back into the homes in Vegas. So I said, okay, now I know what this is about. I could see from the mailroom to scheduling how that work was applied to the local market. So then when I came back to LA, I was fortunate enough after, working in post-production houses to for a few years until I got back at CBS to come on. And now I still knew the management. I still knew they were the ones that sent me out of town. So I had become almost a success by even coming back and now in a different capacity. So through that, I decided that I was going to buy a camera. I was going to buy my own camera. I wanted to have my own production company. I was doing church. I was doing videos for my church at the time, Holman United Methodist Church, when Reverend Master
Yes.
was there, and he, was interested in having videos done around the campus, and so that was my kickoff. And then I started doing video work for nonprofits and electeds, and then was interested in politics. I was interested in knowing what was going on in my community. So, I was a member of the 10th District Women Steering Committee and was able to, put names and faces together with women leaders who were doing work and, the school board members and seeing how that impacted my community. And from that, I went I heard about LawPi, Los Angeles African American Women's Public Policy Institute, and was able to meet all those dynamic women back in the day. I was in the class of 2009, and now we're 2026, and that cohort is still, is just starting. But there have been 400 women that have come through that program. So, and I'm giving you all this backstory because I'm in Law Pi. I was, my classmates of about 20, dynamic women were either attorneys or worked in politics or were staffers for politicals or, on that management, high management journey. And here I was just when, not just, but working in TV. And so I'm like, I didn't see how the connection between what I was interested in terms of being in politics and my TV and production company would be in alignment. And fast forward, here we are with Respect My Crown. So it just goes to show you that when you follow your dreams or your instincts or your interests, it's gonna align at some point. And just to keep going forward, keep, knowing and trusting your own instincts and what it is that you are doing, whatever path it is, because there is going to be alignment.
Well, what I heard you say, which is what I think that most people don't want to do, sometimes you have to take a step back. Sometimes you have to take a step around or a step to the side in order to make something happen. And I think what I'm hearing you say is every one of those steps you were attaining marketable skills. You
Yeah.
were obtaining marketable skills and you were understanding how your industry operates. And that's the due diligence that us as business coaches, that's what we talk about all the time. You have to go get your currency really is your knowledge. Your currency is really the skills that you've attained. So thank you for sharing that. So talk to us about Moon Global Studios. You own your own studio. It's available to the market for
Yeah.
rent. Talk to us about that process.
Yeah. So Moon Global Studios was really it's a space where I am now that I'm so happy about because I get the opportunity to work with both of my sons. My youngest son is a recording engineer, Everett Moon, who is also a producer and a performer. But I get so much joy with him having a space
Yes.
to work. We have, top of the line audio equipment because of my experience being at the network and being in other post houses and seeing the need
Yes.
and the
It's
gear that was
required.
needed
Yeah.
to
Mhm.
make things work and be quality work. I needed that here in the community. So I have a recording studio. I have a podcast studio because I know that stories are important. Our stories are important. We have a great list of clients that record here, and one of which is Cynthia Nickerson, who I see is on the call. She has a wonderful show, Urban Wellness Now, that I'm very blessed to have her do here. We have a photography space. We have Edit Suite, and I have a house. The property that I bought has two parcels. The production space is, where we are now, but there's also a back house that I'm converting into an artist residency where artists from the African diaspora can live and stay for 8 weeks, work on their craft. I'm developing relationships with the local art community here, Otis Art College, specifically Inglewood Open Studios, so that our resident, when it is fully developed, will be able to show their work here and also have the students from Otis come over, do talks, do collaborative work. So, it's a very it's a creative hub. There's a number of things that come up that it wasn't in my business plan. I've done comedy shows. I've done, you know, spoken word albums. My dear friend Charles Reese won a voice actor award last year and was nominated this year for his spoken word album. And my son recorded it. So it's an opportunity to give the 30 somethings a place, a comfortable place to work, to hone their skills, because we didn't have that necessarily when I was coming up. We had to go to Hollywood, or we had to, I look at Hustle and Flow was on the other evening, and I'm, in that second bedroom, you're trying to, tell be quiet, and
Make it do what
all
it
that.
do.
Right. And
I gotta watch that movie again. That was, that was a funny
right.
movie.
But I saw that, and I was like, okay, we can work like that and thrive. Greg, I think it's your mic because I'm feedbacking again.
I can do
Oh,
that.
okay.
I think
Anyway.
that's Crystal.
Is it me?
Oh, okay. So, I wanted a place for young creatives to be able to work on their whatever it is, either their photography work or their I have a the collective, as we call it, of Everett's contemporaries who come in, and they have fashion lines now, so they're doing their fashion shoots, on the campus here, and but it was intended to be a one-stop shop where they could record, where they
It's
could do a
excellent.
podcast and talk about what it is they just recorded. They could do headshots. We can do live streaming. We can, just get their work out. They can perform in the back. They have performed in the back. And, also
Where's it located?
at 1108 North La Brea in Inglewood,
Inglewood?
in between 64th and Centinela.
Almost walking
Around the
distance from
corner
me.
from me.
Yeah, exactly. Very close. How's the now spring and summer coming up? How's the rooftop? You got a
Yeah,
rooftop
the rooftop. The rooftop. I just the other day, one of the artists was here and mentioned that he wants to do a photo shoot on the roof and a little jamming session. So it's not it's not a huge roof. You've seen it, but we allow, the I call them the kids to come up and do whatever they need to do. So we've had DJ sets and where we've live streamed out. Um, we've had, I mentioned, photo shoots, sunset photo shoots specifically.
Really cool.
So, I mean, it's a lot of fun here.
Pamela, the need is great because again, like all of us as little kids, we all wanted to be somebody. You wanted to be in a movie, you want to be on a cartoon, you want to be on a show. So I want to thank you for coming to back to the neighborhood and bringing this quality product to the neighborhood. That's amazing.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
Truly
Inglewood.
amazing.
Inglewood.
Inglewood, that's right.
Right.
I'm a 45-year resident of the city of Inglewood, so I appreciate you, really, really appreciate you.
Oh, yes. I have to tell you, Robin, I came in like this, like let me in. I'm here now. I came in like that. But I'm very proud of my relationships with that I'm developing with Inglewood Open Studios. I'm using now I have on my art commission hat when I tell you that the arts in this community are thriving. A lot of people don't know that artists have moved into the Inglewood community that are upstairs on the second floor on Market Street in the lofts, and because they are at Otis and they need places to work and to live, and so it's a thriving community. And the work that Inglewood Open Studios was doing with their tours and going to these studios to see the work, the Beacons Art Building, right on the other side of Centinela, and they've converted a storage building, Beacon Storage, into this, 3, 4 story lofts and studio spaces. And Michael Massenberg is there. He's one of the premier artists in Inglewood. He's
I know Michael.
yeah
Awesome young man.
done the mural on the side of the Intuit Dome. So he's on my board with the foundation. So I I'm happy to be part of this community, and want to just share what we have here.
Well, we in my eye, you're big time, but I'm just going to deem you our studio correspondent because you have the depth and the breadth of knowledge that's needed and the guidance that people need to hear. And so one of the things that we ask you to do, a bunch of us on here are business coaches. So as you're working with these organizations, we know for a fact that's the piece that ends up being missing. And we'd love to align with you in that regard. Thank you for coming on today, which brought us some new folks. So Cynthia, we've invited Cynthia to be in contact with. I'm going to put her in contact with Stephen so we can get her on board. But again, your blessing and your wish as a little girl has been granted.
Well, thank you.
And what we're hearing from you too, with your sons, with the kids as you call them, you really, 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 really have laid those tracks that Joy would be so very proud of you. Gwen Moore was my shero. They would be so proud of what you've accomplished. And what you didn't do is go to the West Side and leave us back here. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome.
What you're doing for the young people is tremendous. My nephew went to SCAD to he wants to be a film director, or that's what he went there for, film directing. So now he's video editing some podcasts. So I'm gonna send him on over there too, because I've been introducing him to people. He does a lot of photography for Ian Fox. Ian has is using him out there, so I'll send him on over. Maybe somebody in that studio can guide him and help him get really his foot in the door. But our young people need those mentors, right? They need to have someone reach back and bring them in. They go to film school, they're all super excited about it, but then when they come back here, is how do I get in, right? What do I need to
Right.
do? And so that they don't falter and waste all those good years.
Right. Well, it's a whole different game. I didn't forget your question, Greg, and I know we're running out of time, but just in terms of where we are and how we move forward in media and in filmmaking and things like that. And you've been there in finance and studios and things like that for many years. But when I first started, we were on quad machines, big 2-inch reels, and then that came down to 1 inch, and then we've started using, digibetas, things like that, and now everything's on a file. So, and then, you have the challenge, and it's a gift and a challenge, but AI, because everything can be done, just like this. But in terms of just like Robin mentioned, that history, that institutional knowledge that you need to have in order to create, even with AI, you need to be able to know and study the current technology, know and where are things going. Elon Musk, we all know, has the most satellites of anyone in the world, and that's why he plays such a pivotal part in this media that we're trying to fit into. But if we are true to ourselves, make stories that fulfill you, make stories that can help our community, and just be grounded, know how to create, but also have a purpose. So that's important.
Awesome.
I have a
Awesome.
Renee
question.
had a question. Renee.
Okay, I was just over there last night to the Savoy Theater. Are you all connected with them anyway?
No, we are not. No, we are
I mean,
not. But
I
I'd be
don't know what
open to any introduction.
I don't
It's
know
a big
what all they're
space.
into. But they last night it was a comedy show with Melanie Camacho, and
Mm,
she's a riot. But
yeah,
anyway, I just was curious because it's so close. You guys need to know each other. I got
And then
some
absolutely.
information
and
for them also.
Pamela, we're part investors of the Miracle Theater, and Owen over there he worked for American Idol for
Idol. Yeah,
15, 16 years. He's a good
yeah,
guy. It's a good
yeah,
guy, really good guy.
yeah.
Keith Thompson, got your hand up. We want to see your face, Keith.
Oh,
There you
Yes,
go.
yes, yes. Hello. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. First off, Miss Moon, I appreciate everything that you're doing for our community because not only are you showing us adults a new way and a new path, but you're also giving hope for Black little girls that want to change the narrative in our community. But also, I am an emotional wellness and grief consultant. I work with different kids, young adults, and
Mm.
adults, getting them through the process of grief by hosting an emotional wellness workshop. And I believe if we start there, we'll then be able to open a lot of people's minds on what the possibilities can be if we can zoom in on their emotional side. So I would love, and I'll be honored to have a discussion on how we can possibly come together and continue to change the narrative in our community.
oh, I would
That
love
is
that.
wonderful.
Yeah, and it's so important, and I don't know how much time we have, but I'll tell you why really quickly. In one of my programs, I teach youth production skills, and So after school program, and I allow the kids to, once we discover, we teach what film genres, what are you, so that they know what they're looking at. If they're looking at a adventure film, action film, or whatever, and I allow them to create their own stories. One of the stories that we did this past, the session ended in November. The students came up with family problems. Family problems was the name of their story, and it was about mother and father who were going through a divorce. But the prior to that, this was supposedly a comedy film. And so but I've let them express themselves, are there siblings? Who are the siblings? What? And so we go through the characters because they all have to act in a part of the film
Right.
as well as, do the production of it. And so anyway, as we were diving into it a little more to flush the story out, I said, well, let's talk about why this is a comedy, because well, the mother and father get to roast each other, and
Right.
it's like, well, and then they were divorced, and then I had, then that's when the personal side comes in because I said, well, divorce is not funny. Divorce is,
Right. Traumatic.
and then when you say I've been through a divorce, it's like,
Right.
you have, so
Right.
it opens you up, it opens them up. And we ended up, it was more jokes in this family problem story
Sure. Sure.
because
Absolutely.
but it shows that even at that level, that there are things that are happening. I didn't ask whose family was going through it. I didn't ask who, but you hear things and see things, and when you work with kids in
Yes.
particular,
Absolutely.
and they
Absolutely.
express
You're
the way they
creating a
need
safe
to.
space. You really are, sister, and Keith, again, I've invited Keith and Cynthia to get in contact with Stephen because we want you guys, here we go again. This is the mission of community briefing, to get
Absolutely.
this information out there, to illuminate, to educate, and identify the resources. And so again, this has been fantastic.
Awesome,
Absolutely.
awesome.
Thank you.
And Pamela, I'm gonna reach out to you. I do a youth entrepreneur program in the summer with the Los Angeles Urban League. Been doing it for like 18 years now.
Hmm.
And we love to bring the kids out for a little field trip in the summertime. When we're in June, and we meet with them for 3 weeks, and we like to take them and expose them to what businesses look like on the inside, and the owners talk to them.
Sure, I would love
Um,
that.
Okay, I will reach out to you for a couple reasons for my nephew to so he can be introduced to your studio as well. But thank you so much. And during the time you've been awesome. And women politicians in DC and around the countryside are being,
Under attack.
disrespected on every level. Women as a whole are being disrespected right now, not necessarily a popular of the population, proper member of the population for the men that are running the country. So this is an honor because women need to be uplifted, and definitely are women and people that have made some amazing. And if you're in the political space and you're really carrying out the mission and what you're supposed to be doing, hats off to you. When I see Diane Watson out there, even at this age, man, she is a trooper out there. I was honored
Yes,
with her
yes.
with the Black Business Network, and it's like, wow, she's everywhere. And then we saw Yvonne birth when Robin and I went to see the screening. It's good to see them still out there and involved, and we're all actively involved with Miss Emma, especially with a number of them out there. So thank
Yeah.
you again, and we're waiting. I'm waiting to see part two, but for those of you that haven't seen part one, y'all need to go see part one until you be ready for part two.
Where is it?
Yeah.
Where is it? Where is it being broadcast?
We haven't gotten distribution yet, and we are working on that. But we are definitely, we have a screening coming up at LMU. We have, community screenings. We're going out to San Bernardino in February. So we're around.
So
Will
you're
you
going
be
to
at
share
the
that
film fest?
information.
So I'm sorry.
Will you be at the film fest in February, or you just will the film be shown
At a film
at the
festival?
film at the PAFF the panel?
Well, we already did. So once
Oh,
you have been, once you've screened,
one time you okay.
not with the same film. I
One
mean,
and done. One and done.
One and done.
One and
Okay.
done.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
thank
right.
you. I mean, this is good for me to be in this community because, as I mentioned, I'm a behind the scenes person, always have been, and
We
so
ain't having that. We're not having that.
to
We're not having
force
that.
me to come
We're not
out.
having that.
You feel
You
better
got
now.
too much to offer.
Yeah.
You have way too much to offer to BB. I'm
So,
sorry. I'm sorry.
Robin, as we tell as business coaches, we tell our clients that you are the business.
Jump in the
You
pool.
kind of got to come out to be
Jump
able
in the pool.
Jump in the pool.
I mean,
jump
it's
in the pool
tough.
with the rest of us.
The water looks cold, but as soon as you get in there, say, "Oh, it's not. This is nice."
I can tell other people's stories day and night.
This is nice.
My story is like, ooh.
Well, and what you said earlier about those kids, here we are, and this is why you're doing what you're doing, because it was some old sisters that told you their story and what they didn't get a chance to do, what they were not exposed to. You starting in that mailroom made all the difference in the world.
Legacy women. They're gonna call them old.
You legacy. Excuse me. Your story. What you do is critical, but your story helps people to understand. I can do this too.
Yes.
I can
That's
do
what
this
happened
too.
to Reuben Cannon. He started in the mailroom, and then he became, the first black casting director for it was Universal, I think. I mean, the mailroom. My husband started in the mailroom as a dentist. I mean, before he was a dentist, but that's how he learned the system.
That was the pathway to the studios back in the day.
Back in the day,
Absolutely.
that and now, well, not even PAs, but our production assistants, the audience seaters and the fillers. I still have friends.
Well, also the pages, because that's how I started
Pages.
at CBS too.
Yes. Yeah, pages.
Well, and yes, things have changed, but there is that little crack. You just got to accept the little crack to get in, right?
Hello.
Like Greg said, dive into the pool. Once you dive into the pool, then you start to realize, well, at least I can float.
But even more,
till I learn how to swim.
And I can still touch bottom.
Right, exactly. Well, look at the young lady that just became the CEO of Sam of the Walmart or the Sam company, right? She started as an intern, and now she's the CEO of the organization. So, go figure. You can start at the bottom and work your way up to the top.
That's right.
And it is our story, right? All of us started someplace that we said, I'm never going to do this for the rest of my life.
The kiddie
but
pool side.
I got to do this. This is just a stepping stone to the next step, right? Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Thank you so much. Okay, Stephen, who we got next week?
So next week, guys, we're going to have an open forum. I have an idea for next week. Robin, I'll talk to you, and Emma will need to be involved in that. Greg will be at a homegoing. For those of you that know Rhonda Holbert, that's my partner with Biz Camp. Her mother passed, got her wings on Monday. And so if you guys know her, please send up prayers. Cynthia, I know you from somewhere. I've seen you out there and we've spoken. But thank you guys for coming. Again, your support is what makes this program work. And please go out and share. Go over. I've finally gotten not all of the videos up, but a great deal of them are up. And we're now over on, we have our own page on Facebook. And working on getting our own page on LinkedIn. So support us and share.
And our YouTube channel.
And
hit the bell. Hit the bell and subscribe.
Hit that subscribe so we can continue to grow. I do a lot of work on that editing, people. It takes a long time to do that editing piece. And I'm not I didn't go to school for this, but I had to learn it in order to do it.
Pamela can show you some tricks.
Yeah, maybe.
there's some AI out there now that can really get in there and
it helps me with the cover with the thumbnails. I have to use those, so I've gotten really pretty good
I
at that.
found one with it'll go in and automatically take out the us.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I have that too, and do some other things. Opus Clip does that to get you some shorts. But thank you guys, and so now we're gonna come off our recording, and for those of you that want to stay around for a few minutes to
The after party.